with news that affects you at home, across Texas, and around the world. This is KWTX News 10.
Welcome back. Spring has sprung and insects are popping out all over the place, including destructive termites and fire ants that can be dangerous to pets and little children. We have Patrick Baldwin, the owner of 855 Bugs, here to talk about these pests that are starting to appear in our yards, and also a special treat for all of you out there. We got Manny, the praying mantis, here as well. So this is your mascot, right, Patrick?
This is Manny, and we're glad he likes TV. Can you tell?
He does, and praying mantises are good. They're the good bugs that eat the destructive bugs. So we're glad that Manny is here as well. But Patrick, tell us a little bit about some of the bugs that are going to be reappearing this spring with this warm weather now.
Absolutely. What we've really started seeing in the last week are termites, and so subterranean termites, as we get, like Rusty's talking about the weather, getting that 80-degree mark, and so that higher humidity, that 80-degree temperature, these black-winged, what they look like ants, but their termites are coming out, and they're looking to start new colonies, and so that's when we get a lot of calls saying, hey, you know, I'm freaking out, we got bugs all over our house with wings. So we're going to be watching out for those. Fire ants, when that rain hits, everything ties back to the weather, and those fire ant mounds will pop up in the yard, so you want to make sure that, you know, you keep especially your kids out of there, or your pets out of there. We know fire ants are terrible, and then fleas are something to watch out for, and so make sure you treat your dogs or your cats, and also mosquitoes. So we've heard a lot about Zika recently, and we want to make sure you know that you can prevent a lot of that, especially working together with your community.
So let's go back to fire ants a little bit. It's hard for dogs, you know, they're running all over the yard. Some fire ant hills might be popping up. Let's say they do get bit, they stick their nose in it, some of the young children stick their hands in it. Let's first start with pets. How can we treat fire ant bites when it comes to our animals at home? Sure.
Veterinarian's a great resource also, that we have great veterinarians in the area. But topical treatments such as Benadryl is what I'd recommend. So you want to make sure that they're not scratching at it, both kids and pets. And even as adults, we have hesitancy, like if we have a bite or sting, to scratch at it. That can cause secondary infection just by picking up something else that's on your skin already. So any kind of topical ointment, if it comes to kids, and you look at your dosage and make sure, like, you might be able to have your kids to ingest a little Benadryl also to help with that.
And you know, kids too, they love going out in the yard. Maybe they see a big anthill and it's fun just to stomp on it. What can parents I know just the typical, no, don't step on the hill, but what do you suggest is a fun way, or what does Manny suggest is a fun way to tell kids just to stay away from those big anthills?
Sure, yeah. I don't know if Manny doesn't say much. He's the strong, silent type here. But we want to teach them, like, hey, and it's just like the stove, right? Hey, don't touch the stove, it's hot. And sometimes it takes the first touch, and they realize, oh, that's when my parents told me not to touch the stove. It might be that way with fire ants. Hopefully you can instill that early on. Like, you don't want to touch them. If you stir them up, they're going to see them all coming up, and they look mean just by staring at the fire ant mound.
Right.
But yeah, that one sting, I'm scarred from it being in Boy Scouts years ago. So.
Right. So what do you suggest when you start seeing just a few termites in your house? That's when you need to call, or when do you think it gets really, really destructive?
Yeah, so by the time that you've seen those termite swarmers, the black ones with the wings, they've already been there 3 to 4 years. And so you want to get on it earlier. Preventative is always less expensive, and it's going to cause less damage if you catch it earlier than later. So we know that the termites we have here are eastern subterranean termites. They can eat a 2x4, a foot of a 2x4 in 1 year. And so you want to get to that sooner than later. We offer free inspections. Other pest control companies in the area do the same thing. And you want to just get your eyes on it, and we'll all point out conducive conditions or signs of infestation and let you know what's going on your property.
And you're doing a special for our viewers, so Patrick, tell us a little bit about what you're going to offer them.
Sure. Just mention KWTX when you call. You're going to get 15% off. Just call in and mention that you saw us on KWTX, and we'll take care of you.
Perfect. If you mention KWTX, like Patrick said, you can get 15% off your first service. Well, I really appreciate you coming in, telling us with spring, all those pesky bugs that are coming back, and Manny for bringing him today.
Thanks so much for having us.
All right, and we'll be right back.